back to history, the context of the 17th century is very interesting. In England, in Italy, in Germany, appeared some kind of science societies. The very first ones were in Italy, but then in England came a very interesting scientist called Francis Bacon. And this Francis Bacon said, okay, we must experiment to get the knowledge, and if you have the knowledge, you will have the power. Means power being power of any development, technological development, and many others. Some scientists came to the French king, Louis XIV, when he came to the throne and said, you see, the English are developing their country as crazy because they did pay attention to the science as being one of the most important things. So it should not stay as it is in France as kind of esoteric thing like alchemy or theories. It must be an earnest subject. So their king, we suggest you create with our help a kind of academy of science. So the king understood that there was a huge competition in the future in between English and French kingdoms. So he accepted, and then in 1669 was created the French Academy of Science. Among the first scientists who created, the first group who created this society, there was Huygens. Huygens was an astronomer, and there was also Charles Perrault, who was another astronomer. So, you know, astronomers were also mathematicians and physicians, of course. And they did co-opt different persons. So, Charles Perrault was also very, very interested on botany. He got decided that resources from plants were extremely important. At that period, the Company of Indies was created also, and then the travelers did bring back many, many goods, exotic goods, and things that could be new medicine and everything. So Charles Perrault did create a new system for botany with different others, but it is a short tale actually, so I will not enter in details. And Charles Perrault actually, surprisingly, he is not renowned for astronomical works. He is not renowned for botany. He is renowned for some tales and fairies. So, about tales and fairies, I will have a word about the context. So, during the 17th century, intellectual people in France were interested on all antique traditions of tales and fairies. So the mythology was taken as a kind of symbolic language, as well as all kinds of tales. And so that was also the beginning of secret societies. So since remote times, the workers were grouped in brotherhood. So they had their own secret society to share the knowledge. But now the intellectuals were also involved in that. That was the beginning, I would say, of, you know, even secret societies still existing, like Masonry and so on. But then they used to, not to say directly the things, but they used to take metaphors. Like, of course, we know Jean de La Fontaine. Who did take some old tales from Aesop, from the antique tales, and changing that. Molière, of course, Molière, with the theater, so it's kind of satiric theater. And Charles Perrault, it is very surprising for people that a very good scientist of the very high level, creator of the Academy of Science, spent time for tales and fairies. But in these tales, there's something that the tale is a tool to communicate by propagating your opinions or any discussions, arguments, and could understand only people who were initiated. So Charles Perrault was, with the rest of the Academy of Science, he was in charge to discuss that problem of indigo. Indigo became a symbol. It was a symbol of a new order, how to behave facing a new order, world order, you know, because at the time there were so many new territories and there were the discovery of other culture, super sophisticated, who were not Christian. We were not in that old world with, you know, Near East as being the origin of everything, like the biblical territories, Palestine and so on. And from that, the world got his knowledge and believing. They discovered that in India, in China, there were different believing and knowledges. So the indigo was that symbol. How is it possible that we find some very, very technological thing in other territories that we were considering before, like the poor guys, you know, they don't even have Jesus Christ, so they are below zero. But in fact, they know the porcelain, they know the silk, they know plenty about the dyes. So that was the indigo, a very important point. So there are different tales of Charles Perrault explaining, and I have my little list here. So the Sleeping Beauty. So that's one point. The Blanche-Neige, we call it white snow. So that's the second one. And I will give only four actually. And donkey skin. And number four, it will be bluebird. So it might be surprising that these tales are evocating the problematic of indigo, but that's very interesting. So in the Sleeping Beauty, there's a lady, a very young lady, who is sleeping since 1 century. So it means that since 1 century there was something which is kept hidden in a way, and she's in textile. She got that sleep from sewing, and it's in a castle which is even invisible because it is totally abandoned to the weeds. So they are climbing weeds all over. So it is, the castle is in the dark, and you just see the green of the weed, like the indigo plant or the woad, which has something hidden in it. So at the moment the prince, the charming prince, is coming, he has to cut all that to make the light to enter in the castle, and then the Sleeping Beauty awakes. So that's a symbol of this blue appearing to the light. So, you know, that's this very strange movement. You know, you have that green, and then from that green you can take out something totally invisible, totally hidden, which is the beauty of the blue. So about the white snow, that's the old generation, the mother, and she doesn't like the daughter. It's not her proper daughter, but there's a problem of relationship, so she's persecuting the daughter. So that's the old world, was the only practice of indigo, persecuting the only practice of woad, persecuting the new generation, which is the indigo. So the witch, the mother, which is presented as a witch, she wants all power, so she wants the monopoly of everything. Like the woad was supposed to get the monopoly of the blue dye. And the poor was forced to be hidden, like this first Sleeping Beauty hidden. And then the witch is looking at the magic mirror and says, who is the most beautiful? And then this magic mirror, you will see that we're manipulating. When we will prepare the dye pot, you will see there's a kind of magic mirror appearing at the surface of the indigo vat, which is not the case with the woad vat. The compost vat, woad vat, doesn't have such magic mirror. So in the story, if the mother is asking the mirror is silent and doesn't answer. But if when the mirror appears, it's to show that it is the new generation. It is the indigo giving the most beauty, the beautiful thing. So we have to detail that in some writing one day, but actually I will just go on quickly. The donkey skin is very strange. That's the period of decisions about mixing the old traditional dye, the woad, together with the new indigo. So as we said before, the church was not very happy of that, because one was a Christian, issued of the Christian philosophy, Catholic philosophy, and the other one was a kind of pagan technology, something like kind of magic or pagan. So difficult to mix it. So in the donkey skin, the father wants to marry the daughter. That's the incest. So this mix of different things, of course, that's the same blood in it in a way. That's the same. The blue is the same, but it is inappropriate to marry your daughter. Of course, everybody knew that, and then in that case, the poor girl tried to save some time. She doesn't want to go with the father, of course. So she says, oh, for the wedding I want a dress from the color of the sky, so a blue dress, of course. And then all the dyers of the kingdom, they were not able to do that. The old generation didn't have such a beautiful blue as it could be done with the indigo. So she was hidden in a donkey skin, which is an allusion to an antique tale of the golden donkey, but I cannot enter in details. And also, of course, the blue bart. So you can recognize here in white snow the 7 little guys, which are the 7 colors at the time, and the white snow, which is the fiber, to be dyed with all colors. So there's something back to that, because the blue is kind of killing the 7 wives, which are the 7 colors, unless you have the key. You know, one of the ladies found a key to understand what happened. So this should be detailed, but that's interesting to see that the arrival of indigo during the 17th century did bring much trouble. Is it an incest to put the wood together with the indigo pigment, or is it to be preferred the old generation to the new one, and so on. So all conclusions of this is the answer of the magic mirror in the white snow tale. Of course, the daughter is much beautiful than the mother. So it means the new generation, the blue indigo and the blue color it generates, it much beautiful. So these tales has been done for everybody to tell them. So you remember how it was before the TV or before the books. They were people were telling stories near the bonfire, all the family together, and they spent the evening like that before going to sleep. So this was an idea to propagate this idea that in fact we must accept the future, the progress, which is the new generation. And that's interesting to see that this language was done to be propagated. Everybody has to know the tales. It was told everywhere. Even in the marketplace, you know, there was a guy, not very fortunate, telling the tales to ask some little coins to buy the bread. And so that was the idea of bringing some elements for taking decisions before it was accepted, and just after it was eventually accepted to use the indigo in dyes without so many restrictions. But then it was a kind of a method for preparing the minds, people's mind, preparing, because it has been forbidden, it has been even punished. People were punished, hardly punished, if they were using, and now there was something changing. So by the tales, Charles Perrault bring this idea that the new generation is different, and it is more beautiful, of course, and it is more respectful, must be respected, of course. So that's how we can have an interpretation of these tales. That's my itinerary. When you look for something, you will find it everywhere.